welcome everyone to another episode of the Black Column Podcast. We are back once again. I am Jabaya, aka the Crew Philosopher.
And I'm Shannon, aka your favorite blurred. Oh my god, I almost forgot.
we are here. It's stressful, guys. It's stressful. 2021 is not starting off the way we wanted it to, in no way, shape, or form. I blame Shannon for that.
What?
Because she didn't warn me.
What do you mean? First of all, I told you guys a while ago that this was not going to be any different. Oh, it's not my fault. That was just the truth.
Shannon shitted all over our hopes for a new beginning. She's like,
first of all,
everything is the same. Anyway, Shannon.
I don't know what you want me to say that.
Shannon, how have you been?
I've been good. What about you?
I've been pretty good. It's been a good week. I'm still trying to get into my Joe Rogan flow, doing my little interview stuff. I'm learning some methods and tips.
Mm-hmm.
I figured out that most of my friends are sex addicts, so that was fun. And just same old.
Okay.
same old. Anime,
okay.
Attack on Titans getting really good final season. So,
okay.
But
don't know about that. Don't tell me about it.
Oh.
I heard that it was bad because there are new characters. Huh?
What?
I heard that it was not great because there are new characters and people don't care about these new characters.
No, that's making it dope.
Oh,
it's
really?
like the other side. Yeah, they're talking about the other side of the water, like the other civilizations.
Oh well, I can't say anything because I didn't watch the last season, so I don't really know.
Fair enough. So we have a bunch to talk about today, but before we get into it, Shannon has a first-hand experience regarding this awful vaccine rollout, which we told you we was gonna mess up. We told you we was gonna mess this up like we do everything else. It has been a shit show, the slowest rollout ever. Israel's doing better than us. Germany, all these places, America once again at the bottom.
I don't really understand why they don't just give the vaccines to everyone's healthcare provider. Why do we have to go to certain places to get this vaccine? Because then it's getting hard. So I tried to make an appointment for my grandmother because they opened it up to 65 and older,
mm-hmm.
and my father a couple days ago. But when I went on it a couple days ago, a lot of the places. So you type in your zip code and then it gives you a list of places that's doing it. Most of the places didn't update their guidelines to say 65 and older. So then I couldn't really make my dad an appointment. I have to try again. And then for my grandmother, I put her information in and then on one of Montefiore's websites. And then they were like, your response has been submitted. And that was it. I'm just is somebody going to call me? What's happening right now? And then we tried to do it for Rite Aid. And then Rite Aid had a virtual line. And there were 18,000 people on the line.
Oh my God.
And then they closed it after 20 minutes. And I'm just okay. So I just feel this is kind of impossible. And I don't really understand what's going on.
Well, you see, here's the thing. As Americans, everything we do it pretty bad. So this is no different. I expect nothing less coming from a Cuomo de Blasio administration, for New York City. I heard that the website was very confusing. And why is your website that confusing when the people that would be primarily using it first are senior citizens? Have you seen old people try to use technology? It's sad to watch. So when you have a complicated website that's even annoying me, for a fact that a senior citizen is not going to be able to figure out how to navigate the website. Then they have to call family members or be on these whole lines, taking up space, trying to figure out how to navigate the system. I think the reason why they couldn't do, Shannon, dispensing the vaccine to your local healthcare provider is because it has to be kept at a certain temperature up until the time it's administered. Number one. Two, I think also just they don't have enough vaccine to go around to each specific hospital or doctor's office. So what they're doing is trying to funnel it to big places. Now they're using, and they should have did this in the beginning. De Blasio announced that just now they're going to use the Met Stadium to do a bunch of vaccinations. Why did that have to? Oh, that should have been idea number one. You want to vaccinate as many people as possible. Rent out these huge stadiums. I rent
I
out.
actually read that Disneyland in California was going to be a max vaccination site as well.
As it should be.
Mm-hmm.
This is common sense stuff. And then once again, this is our point where we bring up that just because these people are in office, we have to stop assuming that they know what they're doing because they don't know anything. This is amateurish stuff. And so the fact that you had that experience is unfortunate, but I'm not shocked at all.
Oh, no, I'm not shocked either. I'm not shocked, but it's just annoying. I'm not shocked, but it's still annoying to have to go through. So
how confident are you that we're going to get enough New Yorkers vaccinated by the end of the year?
I honestly don't know. I honestly don't know. And I'm honestly not too concerned about it. I'm just more concerned, like, well, my mom already got vaccinated through her job because she's a healthcare worker. Mm-hmm. I'm mainly concerned about like my dad and my grandparents. Want them to get vaccinated, then I'll be less worried.
You're not concerned about that new strain coming out of Africa?
Oh God.
It's always it's always the motherland that got that strong strain.
Oh my God. Is that strain more deadly or is it still just more contagious? Because I didn't really read up a lot about that.
No, I don't think either one is more deadly, but the concern is
it's more contagious.
They think that the UK one, they think the vaccine that we have now works for that strain. The one out of Africa, not for the Africa strain. There's more doubt.
Gotcha. Okay.
So if that is the case,
that was to be expected. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we'll be going through this shit for no reason if that's the case, which would be unfortunate. So fingers crossed, people hoping that the vaccine works on all of these strains. But here's the thing: if it's true that the vaccine doesn't work on the Africa strain, then what? Like, because we do have to get back to normal.
Yeah. I mean, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I don't really know. I don't know. Maybe this is our new life forever. We're just gonna be living in this post-apocalyptic world for the next 3 years.
No, can't be me. Can't be me. I can't do it. Lose my mind. So see, normally I think this would be what we would be talking about, this Corona talk. But there has been so much happening in politics, so much happening in the news since we watched the worst / greatest day in modern American history, where Trumpers stormed the Capitol to reclaim their democracy. And unlike the founders of the country, their insurrection was pathetic. So they're traitors. And I mean, the blowback to this has been insane. Now, I've expected all of this. I said they're going to use this the same way they used 9/11. And that is exactly the type of rhetoric that has been taking place. But first, let's just discuss the impeachment. So the House votes to impeach Donald Trump. Shannon is thrilled by this. I think this is...
No, I never said I was thrilled by it. I said that it was a waste of time and energy. Well, yes. First of all, do you know if you get impeached, that means that you can't run for office again?
Yes, I knew that.
Because I heard somewhere that
not get impeached if you're guilty. Because
okay,
because
no, yeah, that's what I meant. That's what I meant. Like if impeachment reaches the final stage.
Yes, if you're found guilty once the Senate does a trial, then yes, you cannot run for a high office.
Okay, so that is the only reason why I say that this is still relevant, even if like the trial doesn't happen until after he's out of office already, just because if he's not impeached like fully, he will try to run again in 2024. And
Shannon, here's the problem with what you're saying. Before you talk strategy, if you consider yourself to be someone who is objective, if you consider yourself someone who is a believer in the Constitution, you have to ask yourself whether or not you believe he is guilty of what he is being accused of. I have not seen an ounce of evidence to suggest that Donald Trump incited that crowd to storm that Capitol. Now, I know we live in a world now where words don't mean shit, and people will just bend the rules because they want to engineer a certain result. But the Supreme Court is very clear.
He told them to go there. What did he think was going to happen? He knew what he was doing.
That's not. You know what's wrong? People like you, Shannon, you and your side, y'all don't realize you're setting yourselves up. Just think about this, Shannon. Have you, true or false, have you or have you not heard language just as strong or even stronger than Donald Trump at pro-black rallies.
Okay, but what did
hold on.
no. Hold on, wait.
She's misleading the witness.
Wait. What did he say? Did he tell them? Because I never saw this tweet.
It's a long. Wow. See, that's the problem right there. Shannon's out there just silent impeachment.
I'm trying to find the direct wording. I don't remember what it said.
It's a speech. You ain't gonna be able to read the whole speech in 5 minutes.
Okay, but did he tell them to go to the actual Capitol where they're not supposed to be as like public civilians? Because then again, that's right there.
No. He took to march towards the Capitol. You can march towards a building. Going inside the Capitol is illegal. Marching to the Capitol is not illegal. It's the same way how you march on. We're going to march on Washington. We're going to march to. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
There's no evidence of an incitement to violence.
Okay.
None.
Okay.
They are socially engineering this because, to Shannon's point, they want to. This whole trial is for two reasons. One, to keep him from running for office in the future, and for two, just to embarrass him and disparage his legacy. It's personal. They've been trying to do this shit to him since he got into office. When they said that, oh my God, Russian collusion, there was no evidence of Russian collusion. Never was. Oh my God, doing that. Like, we've been on this roller coaster since he's been president. Now, this is not me saying that the man has not been reckless, that he has not been engaged in shady activity. That's not what I'm arguing. What I'm arguing though is the reason why I asked you, Shannon, have you heard? And you still didn't answer my question. Have you heard language that is as aggressive or more aggressive at black rallies? Is because court cases don't exist in a vacuum. So what happens, a court case, Shannon, sets a precedent for future cases. And so if you begin to expand the definition of incitement, that expansion applies to all of us. It doesn't just end with Trump. And so right now, the Supreme Court requires for there to be a very explicit view of incitement, meaning unless I say, let's go down and burn that mother effer down, that's incitement. If I say, you know what, we're going to go and we're going to tear this system down and build it up for the people, which you hear that language all the time, that is not incitement. If someone after my speech goes on to commit a crime, Shannon, under the current law, I'm not responsible. If we go ahead and accuse Trump of incitement and he's found guilty, in the future, if I say the same thing, I might be held responsible for that type of language that you hear all the time.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Don't let your hatred for Trump make you, kill, stab yourself 2 years from now. And that's what I think they want to do, by the way. I think the strategy now, because remember, Trump, we view the federal government as one thing, but it's not. It's like, you have Trump, you have the intelligence agency, who, by the way, those two don't like each other at all. They've been fighting since Trump has been in office. The feds, the CIA, they want to have as much power as possible to do certain things, like spy on your email, to search your house without a warrant. So they want the expansion of the state and the minimizing of your civil liberties. And so I think they are the ones driving this, along with the Democrats, who think they're doing the right thing, but I think they are doing the wrong thing. It's 9/11 2.0. It's like, oh my God, we got hit by terrorists, Patriot Act, spy on Americans, do all this stuff. Next thing you know, a couple of years later, NSA, reading all our emails, spying on us through our cameras, even when our cameras are off, just for safety. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yes, okay. I agree that the wider picture of this is bad. Yes.
But you hate Trump.
I do hate Trump. I do.
So, of course, the impeachment passes the House, so now it goes to the Senate. McConnell, of course, is not going to reconvene the Senate for a special election, which means that Donald Trump is not going to go on trial for impeachment until he's out of office. Which, once again, it's just goofy. I would much prefer a clean break from Trump instead of Biden gets in, but now we still have to do the Trump trial, 2-3 months into the Biden administration. And then, the Senate Republicans are probably going to do something where they hold off of voting for Biden's cabinet, because people forget the Senate votes for the cabinet members that Biden picks.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't understand why
Yeah,
you would create.
it's gonna cause a lot of congestion and backup into Biden's presidency. Yes,
Yeah, which we don't need right now,
no,
and so that's
we
why
don't.
I think the impeachment is misguided because number one, I think it's a bunch of bullshit. But even from a practicality perspective, I don't like it. I would much prefer just a clean break. January 20th, bam. Trump is in the past. Biden presidency. Let's move into the future. Let's get stuff done because stuff needs to get done.
Yes, it does. Stuff needs to get done very badly.
Yeah. So you know, that's how I feel about that. And speaking of the blowback, so we have the political blowback to what happened on the siege of the Capitol, but then we've also had the FBI just out there asking Americans to snitch. I have never seen a snitching campaign like this in my life. Reaching out to USA Today, reaching out to
TMZ released like a slate of like 100 people's faces close up. Whew.
This is snitching to the highest. Or I can't back this.
Listen, I don't care about these. I don't care about these stupid people that decide to storm the Capitol. If I saw somebody on there and I recognize them and be like, "That's this person," I don't care.
These un-American people.
Y'all are dumb. Because first of all, why do you think? I'm talking not you. I'm talking about the stupid Trump supporters that went to the Capitol. Why do you think you could go and break law by trespassing on federal property, and then you could just go about your lives like nothing happened? Like, why do you think that nothing is going to happen to you? I don't understand.
Did we ever discuss what we thought? I know last time we discussed that we thought maybe it was like an inside job, but have you fleshed out your opinion more on that? Because I have.
About if it was an inside job or not?
Just like what do you think happened? Because there's a lot of sketchiness around it, like details being released.
I was talking to somebody about this earlier, and I forgot. Wait, hold on. I think I have.
You have like an article or text or something?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if an article. I'm trying to see if an article was sent to me or if I just had this conversation, but I forgot what the conversation was. Oh, yes. Here it is. I meant to read this earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but I didn't read the article. Okay. So I'm gonna skim it.
Yeah.
So panic buttons installed on Ayanna Pressley's congressional office were torn out before rioters stormed the Capitol last week.
Mm-hmm.
Sarah Grow, who serves as Miss Presley's chief of staff, was with the Congresswoman when President Donald Trump supporters stormed the U.S. Capitol building last Wednesday. She told the Boston Globe that she had reached for the panic buttons installed in Miss Presley's office as they tried to barricade themselves in. But when they went to press panic buttons, Miss Presley's staff saw that they weren't there and appeared to have been ripped out. So that's sketchy.
I saw that story. I also saw a story from some congressperson who said that I think before the 6th there was people, they were like doing tours of the Capitol.
Mm-hmm.
And she believes that it was a planned attack. My theory, number one, I don't think this. Okay, so here's what I think happened. They knew weeks in advance that Donald Trump will be doing the Stop the Steal rally on Capitol Hill.
Yep.
Right. So that was public knowledge. We also know that these people were the most pathetic insurrectionists we've ever seen in our life. I mean, they didn't even have guns, most of them, right? And they always have guns. So the reason they didn't have guns this time is because D.C. is not an open carry state, so they didn't have weapons. But you can't take over the Capitol without any weapons. You know that you have to go through Capitol Police. You know you have to go through the police that are inside the Capitol as well. You know this. So if you really thought, hey, let's go in there and take over the Capitol building, you will need some type of weaponry. That was not to be found. But to your point about the panic buttons being removed and the tours of the Capitol days before and those things, I think what happened is there was planning, and then also the pipe bombs that almost no one's talking about.
Yeah. No one's talking about that.
No one's talking. And those two dudes look the sketchiest. The dudes with the pipe bombs that were found at the RNC and in DNC. I think the plan was so the rally was organic, I think. Right? Trump just doing his Trump thing. The crowd was organic. Most of them. I think what happened is a small group of people plan to create a deadly event by exploiting all of these natural phenomena.
Okay.
That's what I think was supposed to happen. Because imagine if those two bombs, Shannon, went off. The one at the RNC, one at the DNC. It's a serious incident, but let's be honest. We're probably going to all forget about this in like 2 months. If those bombs had went off, this would have gone down in like American history, like as a huge event. And then also the fact that they were. Did you see that clip of them talking about hanging Mike Pence?
No.
Yeah, it's like a video of Trump supporters hanging Mike Pence. But Donald Trump wouldn't want Mike Pence hanged. Somebody else might have. Mm-hmm. And so, remember, last time I said crowds are weird. Like human behavior in crowds, it's hard to explain to people if you've never been a part of like these big political crowd events. So I think the story that's being missed, there was like a small group of people that was trying to inflame the situation for political purposes. They failed, and that angle of the story is getting swept under the rug because there's also been a bunch of reports released that a bunch of the people there were like cops, undercover cops, and people like that they flashed their badges. Yeah, they flashed their badges to get into the Capitol, and so all of this stuff is just very, very weird and strange, and I don't know what to make of anything. Just being honest, it's a weird story. This could be like a Jeffrey Epstein where we never get to the bottom of like what really happened. But I would love for somebody to at least try to figure out, hey, let's maybe talk about the guy that tried to bomb the DNC and the RNC headquarters.
I agree with you that I think it's like a small group of people in the large group of people that actually did it. But obviously not all of them, but like a small group of people planned maybe for something bigger to happen. But
are you buying the reports that they're planning something big for January 20th?
I mean, anything is possible at this point. If they found pipe bombs at the RNC and the DNC, then probably yes. I mean, I feel like now that happened, it'll be harder for somebody to pull something off. But I feel like, yeah, probably.
Yeah. If you are a Trump supporter or a conservative, that's Shannon doing that. That's Shannon. It's not me. That's Shannon.
It is me. It is me doing it. I don't care who knows.
I have no problem with Trump supporters at all. I love you like I love everybody else.
Jabaya, stop. What is wrong
with you? I don't have any animosity towards those people. No. I don't. I think they are Americans. I think.
So you don't have animosity? So you don't care about the wildlife, Jabaya?
What do you mean?
Anyway.
Oh, yes. Look, let's get to this story.
God.
This is what this really is about. Shannon, she's not going to forgive you guys for this ever. I want y'all to know that.
No, I'm not.
So there was a manatee that was found, and this poor animal, they stamped him with Trump.
Yeah, they scratched it into the poor manatee's back. Listen, okay? Let me just point out, all right? I love animals, okay? But I especially love sea creatures because I love the ocean, okay? And what they did to the poor manatee is an atrocity, okay? It's an atrocity. First of all, manatees are endangered. So why would you? I mean, luckily he wasn't hurt other than like the scratchings on his back. Mm-hmm. But like, what kind of cruel? See, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Trump supporters are terrible people. What kind of cruel person does that to a poor, defenseless sea creature? Did the manatee do anything to you? No. All he was trying to do was swim, trying to live his life in the ocean, get his food, and then you guys did that to him, and now he's scarred forever. So
the manatee story is an interesting one because
F you, Trump supporters. Sorry.
Out of all the things that happened that day, that might be the strangest. Because first of all, it takes time to scratch something into an animal's back. Number one, you have to be so relaxed and so not worried about getting shot to take the time to just carve Trump's name into the manatee's back. But see, Shannon, once again, here's why I have to denounce what you're saying right now. I believe a con game is being played on the American people. I do. You've never talked to a Trump supporter, a true Trump supporter, right? I'm not a Trump supporter. I voted for Trump in 2016, but I'm not a Trump supporter. Like for example, you would never call my black ass anywhere near the Capitol at all, ever. This thing was over November. When the election was? November 3rd?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was like game set wrap. But part of the reason why I'm trying to heal us. You've never talked to a Trump supporter, have you?
Not in person. I have online. I've argued with my fair share of them.
No, but online is not helpful either, because you have algorithms and people behave in ways that they wouldn't act face to face. You know that, Shannon.
I think that they very much will act that way face to face. But continue.
But you don't know that because you never talked to one. I'm just saying, we create caricatures of each other.
I know, but listen, but I know that, but like, I'm not going to give anyone the benefit of the doubt. If you're over here spewing ignorant crap online, then I'm not going to think that you're a nice person in real life. That's who you are.
But Shannon, ignorant is a matter of opinion. They view, they view you the same way.
Okay.
And that's part of the problem. Both of you guys spend all your time talking about the other side, but you don't ever want to talk to the other side.
No, I don't.
And I'm just saying that is what that is contributing to the hostile, toxic environment that's taking place today. I don't view Trump supporters as deplorable. I don't view Trump supporters as less than. I view them as my brothers and sisters. Nope. And most of them are just victims of circumstances.
I just want to point out that me and Jabaya have very different opinions. I do not view Trump supporters as my brothers and sisters. I do not want anything to do with them ever. Thank you. That is my stance.
Yeah, I know we disagree on that. So in other news, I think we can go ahead and look into the Biden stimulus plan that came out.
Yes, we can. But I just want, but
sorry, Shannon, really quickly. Go ahead.
Hey, justice for the manatee. That's all I have to say about that.
What does that even mean, justice for the manatee? How old is he?
Whoever did that to the poor, How old is the manatee? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think the article said how old he was. But still, whoever did that to the manatee, I hope they get caught, and I hope they are thrown in jail for a year or fined $50,000.
I would give everybody that was there only like a year in jail.
Well, they were saying that it's a $50,000 fine or up to a year in prison.
But they're also trying to pass new laws and stuff, which once again I detest, because once again it's just like a short-sighted emotional thing that's happening. AOC, I'm gonna get to her later, but yeah, they should get a year in jail and then let them go on their way. Just let them go on their way. Let them go back to wherever they're at. So, back to, like, I'm just saying, at some point we have to analyze the same way I was asking people to analyze why during the summer people were burning down police stations and Rite Aids. I also think we have to analyze what would possess somebody to storm the Capitol. I'm just saying. She doesn't believe. She doesn't agree. I'm just saying. So Joe Biden has released his new relief plan. Is a $1.9 trillion relief program, and me and Shannon had an article, posted in our notes before, but then like 10 minutes before we started recording the show, new details came out, and it is worth reading. So let's start with the key items in the Biden stimulus bid. So first, we have stimulus checks. The plan includes a central promise of Democrats boosting direct payments to individuals to $2,000 for most Americans, on top of the $600 that Congress approved in December. Also, the plan would allow residents who are married to undocumented residents to receive stimulus payments who are barred in prior rounds. Now, pause here. This is what I mean when I say the media is useless. I didn't hear anything about that second part.
Me either.
Anything. That is egregious. That because
first of all, I don't know why they would deny you money if you're married to an immigrant. What does that have to do? What? I mean, I don't. Okay.
It makes no sense. I'm legal.
Exactly.
I'm a legal citizen. Who cares if my spouse is? First of all, I thought if you married somebody, they become a citizen anyway.
Yeah, I think that's supposed to be the thing. Right. I don't know.
Look, I'm not going to harp on that point.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense because you technically wouldn't be undocumented anymore if you were married.
That's what I'm saying. She's my wife.
Did that rule change?
This,
Did that change?
well, I don't know if it changed. Maybe the law is you marry somebody and then they can file to be a citizen. Maybe it's not automatic.
Oh, okay.
But whatever the case was, to me that was very cruel to do. Deny
Yeah.
Americans stimulus money if they were married to undocumented people. Cruel
Yeah.
and despicable, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I think me and you, Shannon, support raising, giving Americans $2,000 in
Of
stimulus
course we
money.
do, because that means that we're getting $2,000.
Yes, it's all self-serving. Next, vaccinations and testing. Biden's plan includes $20 billion to create a national vaccine distribution program that would offer free shots to all U.S. residents, regardless of immigration status. The plan calls for creating community vaccination centers and deploying mobile units in hard-to-reach areas. Biden is also calling for $50 billion to ramp up testing efforts, including purchasing rapid result tests, expanding lab capacity, and helping local jurisdictions implement testing regimens. So I think the biggest difference between this and probably what the Trump campaign was doing is this is creating like a national vaccination distribution chain versus I think Trump was sending the vaccines to states and they would handle distribution. I'm pretty sure that's what Trump's plan was versus this is coming straight from the national government. I think in this, it's hard for me to say that I think the states should handle it when the states have effed this up so bad.
The state should not handle it because the rollout right now is terrible and something better needs to be put in place. So I'm for this.
I think I'll agree with Shannon there. I said I agree with you. Next, we have the state aid, which is Biden is pushing for $350 billion in funding assistance for state, local, and territorial governments, plus $20 billion for public transit systems. Democrats for months have pushed for more money to help state and local governments that have faced higher costs and lower tax revenue during the pandemic. States and cities warn they'll be forced to make deep cuts on public health, safety, and education programs without more funding because they can't borrow money in the way the federal government can. Many Republicans have chafed at more money for local governments, however, saying it amounts to a bailout for mismanaged government budgets. Now, here's where I'm probably going to part from Shannon. That last point by Republicans is a fact that some of these state governments are in the position that they're in because of bad management in the first place. I'm a strong believer in state government. I'm a strong believer in competition between states. I'm a strong believer in consequences for your actions. And so a lot of these states, they spend wrong. Take New York State. How much money we waste money down the drain, mismanage, creating programs that don't actually benefit citizens. And so when the federal government comes and bails out these state governments time and time again, there's no incentive for you to actually act right. The only difference this time I would argue is that we're dealing with a national pandemic. And so
global.
Global pandemic. But as a country, we have this disease ravaging every state. And so I don't know if you can afford a state cutting from their health budget, which would then make it harder for to distribute the vaccine, make it harder for people to get tested, make it harder for And so for this specific instance, it might be one of those exceptions to the rule things where you kind of have to bail them out because this ain't the time to be holding people accountable. Because we're all going to pay if one of these states can't get their COVID situation in check. Unemployment insurance. Biden's plan would extend and expand unemployment benefits that are scheduled to run out in mid-March. That was my predicament. The proposal increases a weekly federal benefit to $400 from $300 and extends it through the end of September. It also extends benefits for self-employed individuals and gig workers and those who have exhausted their regular jobless benefits.
That's good.
That is good. Now,
that's good middle ground. If not 600, I feel like 400 is good middle ground.
One hiccup for this could be if I'm looking at this, can you restart the economy if people are getting 400? Eh,
I feel
nah,
like
you
you mean
can.
can you still stimulate the economy? Of course you can.
I was pretty much going to ask like, would the 400 unemployment disincentivize people from looking for work?
Oh, I mean, possibly.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think that's
Yes.
easier. It's easier to do with $600 than it is with $400. But depending on where you are, because in there's certain states where um the cost of living is very low,
Hmm.
so $400 a week goes a long way.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
but
It's true.
I think it's the right play. Minimum wage. Biden is calling to more than double the federal minimum wage to $15 an hour from 7.25, a proposal that could alienate Republicans. In addition, he seeks to end the tip minimum wage used widely by restaurants and the hospital industry. At
Okay,
2.15
that
an hour, it gives lower minimums to employees that get tips.
wait. I'm not sure if I understand this part.
It says, in addition, he seeks to end the tipped minimum wage.
Okay. Yes. So that means that now restaurant workers can make $15 an hour too, right? Is that what that means?
I'm trying to read the last sentence. It says right now the tip minimum wage is $2.13, right?
Yes, because you're making most of the money off tips. So that's why restaurant employees get paid so low. But does this mean that they now have to get paid $15 an hour
It says
plus tip?
it gives lower minimums to employees that get
Oh,
tips.
so lower than 213?
I don't know what that language means.
What? Whoever wrote this article, in addition, he seeks to end the tip minimum wage used widely by restaurants in the hospitality industry. At 2013 cents an hour, it gives lower minimums to employees. Okay. I get what they're saying now, although I don't think it was worded correctly.
What
So
are they
this is
saying?
it's just further explaining. So it's saying that he seeks to end the tip minimum wage. And he's saying that right now, or whoever wrote this is saying that right now it's at 213, and the 213 means that restaurant workers are getting lower minimum wage rates because they get tips. That's what they're trying to like. They're trying to explain it, but I just don't think they wrote it out
So
correctly.
would this mean that restaurant workers would no longer get the tip minimum wage and just get the regular minimum wage?
Yeah, so I think that what that means is that they'll have to get $15 an hour. Now, I don't know if that's gonna be. I don't know like what's gonna happen to their tip. Like if they're still gonna be allowed to get tips, which we already talked about that we should end tipping anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I think that they're gonna be required to get paid $15 an hour too.
You know what the thing is with economics? I don't understand it at all because you always hear from Democrats and the left that we need to raise the minimum wage. And then you hear from like the right that all that will do is raise inflation. Both of these arguments make logical sense to me. Like if I was working
Mm-hmm.
at a
They do.
restaurant, or if I had a business at a restaurant in Mississippi, and then suddenly people went from $7 an hour to getting 15 an hour, I would have raised the prices for everything.
Yeah, cost of living is gonna go up
Yeah.
again. So
So my thing is, does that actually help anybody? Right? Like if my rent is 500 a month in some southern state, because the minimum wage is so low, you raise it to 15, and then suddenly my rent goes up to $1,000. Did you actually help me?
yeah, I don't know. It's like a 50. It's a mixed situation. Honestly, I don't really know my thoughts on it. But yes, there are pros and cons to it. It kind of it makes it like this. I don't think anything outweighs anything. It just kind of like levels it out, and then we're back at the same spot
Do you
again.
think this should be attached to the stimulus bill at all?
Minimum wage?
Yeah.
No, I don't. I
Yeah,
think
me
that's a
neither.
separate. I think that's a separate issue. I don't think that should be attached at all.
Yeah, to me, like if this is a COVID relief bill, everything in the bill should be COVID related, nothing
COVID
else.
related, yeah. And I feel like this is adding this little extra stuff in here that's controversial is what's going to get the bill rejected, and it's
Now
gonna like
that said, I mean they have the votes though, don't they? They have the House, they have the
Yeah,
Senate
they do.
plus
They do have
Kamala.
the votes.
Unless
If all the Democrats vote in unison about this, which I'm assuming they will, but you never know.
you know what the filibuster means?
No, I don't. I hear that word a lot, but I actually don't know what it means. I just pretend I do. Do you know what it means? Do you not know what it
No,
means?
I'm looking at it right now.
Oh.
I don't, because you hear it all the time, but I never really looked
Informal
into.
term for any attempt to block or delay Senate action on a bill or other matter by debating it at length, by offering numerous procedural motions, or by any other delaying or obstructive action.
Oh, that doesn't help, Shannon. I found an article that helps. So,
what do you mean?
no, I'm saying what you read doesn't help because it doesn't
Oh.
it doesn't like tell you like what actually happens. So, in the Senate, when you vote for a bill, normally you need just the majority votes, right? So half, one more than half of the Senate. But the Senate cloture rule, that's the filibuster. It requires 60 members to end debate on most topics and move to a vote. So what happens is, the Republicans could invoke the filibuster to delay a vote on a bill or prevent a vote on a bill, and the only way you could move past the filibuster would be for you to get uh, 60 votes instead of the 50 that you need. And so that's probably why there was talk about ending the filibuster.
Okay.
Would you be in favor? It says, voices on both sides have called for reform in the face of partisan gridlock. And while change may be possible if one party wins both chambers of Congress and the White House, the Senate may ultimately preserve the procedure. Yeah. So that is what could hurt the Biden administration, is that the Republicans could invoke the filibuster. Okay. I don't know if I would keep it or get rid of it. I see the pros and cons. Now I'll probably get rid of it. Yeah, if you win, look, man, there's consequence of elections. I think we shouldn't be a majority rules country. No more of this. You need 60% to do something, or 80% to do this. Majority rules, baby. Paid leave.
We should start a tally on the things that we agree on. I feel like it'll be entertaining.
Paid leave. The Biden plan will create a requirement for employers, regardless of size, to offer paid sick leave during the pandemic to workers, a change that the transition team said would extend the benefit to 106 million workers. Parents and family members caring for sick relatives or out-of-school children could receive more than 14 weeks of paid sick and family leave. The plan will provide benefits of as much as $1,400 per week and tax credits for employers with fewer than 500 employees to reimburse them for the cost of the leave. This is tricky for me.
That's great.
It's tricky for me because it requires all employers, regardless of size. So in our minds, when we think about employers, we think about Amazon and like these big chains. But if you're like a small
that have limited,
Mm-hmm. Now the end of this says that the plan would provide benefits of as much as $1,400 per week in tax credits for employers with fewer than 500 employees. But I don't know if that's enough to cover the cost of what they will be paying out for paid sick leave and family leave.
Yeah. I think it varies business to business. Some people will benefit from this and some businesses will not benefit from this.
Yeah.
But I think it's overall good for the people, but it's not great for the business, for every business.
Yeah, I agree. Tax credits and childcare. Biden would expand tax credits for low and middle income families and make them refundable for 2021. He is proposing to expand the child tax credit to $3,000 from $2,000 for each child 17 and younger. Children under age 6 will be eligible for $3,600. Biden is also requesting $25 billion for a stabilization fund to help open child care centers and $15 billion in grants to support essential workers in meeting child care costs.
I don't
Thoughts?
understand tax credits, so I don't really understand what this means. Explain it to me in simple terms.
So tax credits, as far as my knowledge, it pretty much works kind of like so when we were children, right, and our parents would file their taxes,
Mm-hmm.
uh because we were minors living off of our parents, they would be eligible to get like,
Oh, got it.
two three
Okay,
thousand taken off the taxes that they had to pay because they had children.
got it.
And so this is kind of a great way to help struggling
Oh, so
families.
that's great then. There's nothing wrong with that.
I mean, all of this stuff sounds good,
Yeah, yeah.
but I
Oh,
always
but no, I know, yes, but like, how likely is it that it'll pass unanimously?
and I always have the caveat: I'm not an economist, right? So like all these numbers and stuff. I mean, I'm assuming at some point your economy crashes if you can't pay for this stuff. So I don't know. My disclaimer is: look, I am not an economist whatsoever, but as far as how it sounds, sounds okay. Schools and also the child care thing is a big one. The child care thing.
Mm-hmm.
Schools. The plan is also calling for 170 billion to help schools to open. Something Biden has said would allow many parents, especially women, to rejoin the labor force after they dropped out to care for children learning at home. About 130 billion will go to K to 12 schools to help them hire additional staff to reduce class size, modify spaces, and purchase resources to help meet students' academic and mental health needs. The plan would also direct 35 billion to colleges and universities and create a $5 billion fund for governors to direct help to schools most hard hit by the virus. Sounds good to me.
That's fine,
Sounds good to me.
right?
Got to get the
Yeah.
kids back to
Mm-hmm.
school.
Yeah.
Rental assistance. The proposal would extend the eviction and foreclosure moratorium through September. It would also provide 30 billion to help low-income households who have lost jobs pay rent and utility bills. The plan will also provide 5 billion to states and localities to offer emergency housing for families facing homelessness. You know what's crazy about the rent stuff is extending the moratorium on evictions, but people read that and think this is this great thing. But I always remind them it doesn't matter if I still have to pay the bill.
Mm-hmm.
So in certain places, I know for a fact that your rent isn't paused. You, you just don't have to pay it now, but you're still getting billed.
Yeah.
And so at
Yeah.
the end of this thing, you're gonna have some enormous rent bill for like $20,000 or something. Uh, and so
Yep.
it doesn't help. And so I'm that's why I'm glad it says that they're providing 30 billion to help low income households who have lost jobs pay rent and utility bills. Now the language is
Yeah.
a little bit interesting for me because it says low income households, but a lot of middle class households have lost their jobs as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I would hate for them to get left out of being assisted on
The middle
because
class is always left out.
I
To
know,
be
but
honest.
yeah, but that's the
Yeah.
problem is that
Mm-hmm.
they kind of get squeezed. They don't make enough to be safe from hardships, but they
Yeah.
make just enough where they don't get any of the benefits for that we offer lower class Americans. So I
Yep.
hope that's not the case happening here.
Yeah.
Um, and then the last thing is small businesses. Biden is proposing to leverage 35 billion in government funds into 175 billion in low interest loans to finance small businesses. He's also calling for 15 billion in grants for such employers and proposing to use laid off restaurant workers to partner with federal nutrition programs to get those employees working again. I like that a lot.
Yes, I like it too. The only thing that I'm disappointed by is that there is no extension for student loan forgiveness.
Yeah, that's kind of weird that that's left out.
Yeah, I don't know why it is.
I don't know either.
I don't know.
That's the one
But I
hell.
feel like we said earlier, I feel like I saw it somewhere, but I feel like it's not. I feel like it should be in here. So it's kind of messed up, you know?
Let me Google it because I could have sworn it was like a big announcement that said they were like cutting like certain $1,000 off of student loans.
Well, I read that, but I don't think that that's part of COVID relief. I think he was already planning to like cut $10,000 off of student loans. But I'm just talking about like student loan payments right now. Like it was paused during the first round of the first coronavirus bill. Student loan payments were paused, but they didn't say anything in here about like extending the pause for student loan payments.
So There's a CNBC article that
Mhm.
says Biden's stimulus plan doesn't mention student loan forgiveness. The administration officials say the president-elect still supports the move. And so the move is that Biden supports forgiving $10,000 in student debt per borrower, although there's no mention of the loans being canceled in the outline we just read. There's also no reference to extending the payment pause and interest waiver for student loan borrowers that's expected to expire this month. An aide for the administration said last week that Biden would give borrowers more time before they have to resume their payments.
Yeah.
In a recent Pew survey, 6 in 10 borrowers said it will be difficult for them to start paying their student loan bills again in the upcoming month. I have no idea why this is not included in the bill.
Yeah. I don't know why either. It's like it's a very simple thing that I feel like they are overlooking, and I don't understand why.
The Senate's top Democrat and incoming Majority Leader Chuck Schumer is calling on Biden to forgive $50,000 per borrower on the first day of his presidency.
Whew!
All you need is the flick of a pen. You don't need Congress. Yeah,
50,000 per borrower. That I feel like that is very wishful thinking, and I don't think that's gonna happen. It would be wonderful if it did, because that'd be all my student loans.
so that's strange. He can do this through executive order.
He can, but he said he wasn't gonna do that. I forgot why he said that, but I saw that somewhere.
I don't know, Biden. You started
That
to
would
come
help
across
out.
as
Oh
a
my
little
god.
bitch.
Can we even afford that? That's what I'm saying. Like, can that be afforded?
Shannon, let me ask you a serious question, because I do find that we only talk about affording these things in certain respects. Because, quiz. How much do you think we spend on our military budget?
Oh, I don't know, like billions of dollars.
No,
I don't
just
know
give
the
me a
exact
number.
I don't know, like I don't know. Is it over $1 billion?
I'm gonna read you something real quick.
Okay.
So these are the top 4 countries with the highest military spending worldwide as of 2019. Russia spends 65.1 billion.
Oh, okay. So I was way off. Okay.
India spends 71.1 billion. China spends $261 billion on the defense budget. Now, with that information, what do you think the U.S. spends on their military budget?
200 billion. I don't know. I'm just saying a number.
$732 billion.
Oh my God. I wasn't even close.
That is more than double our actual rival, which is China. We spend more than double in billions of dollars on the military of our actual rival. That is inexcusable to me. And so
that is inexcusable.
To your point about affordability, if they can't afford it, they should take steps to begin to afford it. And one step they could take is to decrease the federal budget that they have for the military. Though I think they just passed a new budget, right? A new military spending budget. And that's one thing the Democrats never get called out for, is that they keep signing these bills for these defense budgets.
Do you know? Sorry, I was trying to do the math. So this one, I mean, $50,000. Like, not everyone went to college, but I was just trying to do the math. Like, there's roughly like 328.2 million Americans. I was just trying to do the math of what that times 50,000 a person is, and the number doesn't come up on the calculator, so I don't actually know. But
most Americans don't go to college.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. It's not accurate. It's not. But I was just trying to see like the rough number. I know that like not all those people go to college.
I can give you how many Americans go to college. It's not as high as you think.
How many?
The percentage of the U.S. that goes to college is just 66.2.
Okay, so how many people is that?
And about that's only enrolled in college. It's not people who actually graduate.
Oh, okay. Well, then that's not the number I need.
So what do you need?
I need well, I guess I'm not gonna be able to get that number. What does 66% equate to, like in number wise?
So hold on. 66.2. How many Americans are there? Okay, so there's 328.2 million Americans, and so 66.2% of that would be what?
I'm terrible at math. Don't ask me. don't ask.
So we're definitely talking about around, I don't know, 190, something like that.
Okay, that number is still not going to come up, but Anyway,
Yeah.
we probably can't afford it. That would be amazing. Don't think it's gonna happen though. But if it did, I would be very surprised.
Yeah. So that's the Biden plan. I like many aspects of the Biden plan. Once again, I am not an economist. So like, whenever I hear policies like that sound very good, I always wonder like what I'm missing with the number crunching, because all this stuff has to get paid for. So I have no idea what we have. And then it gets more confusing because you constantly hear about the debt that we have, but we've been in debt, I feel like, my entire life. I've been hearing about the debt.
Yeah.
When's the last time we've been in the surplus?
I don't.
I have no idea.
Like not when we were alive.
Yeah. So I have no idea how any of the money worked at all. I just know that, as far as the policies go, I like them. But then again, would I like them if it leads us to a depression? No.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's tough to say. It's tough to say. But what I do like is the fact that he is so far, Biden is living up to what he said he would do. He said he would go in with big plans, progressive ideas, Unfortunate that the student loan stuff is not in there. To the very least, he could still pause it. I don't understand why that's not included, but whatever.
The very least, and that's mainly what I was talking about. I wasn't really talking about anything else. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe he didn't think Congress would go for all of that at once, so he pulled some stuff out. I don't know.
Yeah, but then take out freaking. There are things you can take out, like that don't need to get addressed in this bill. Sorry, wait, I got a red article. Cool.
I mean, we called one of them. We said that it shouldn't be. It was one that we said off the bat that shouldn't be.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
What was it?
Minimum wage.
Yeah, exactly. The minimum wage. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You could have easily, pull that out, push it to next time. But like so far, I like where Biden's going with his policies. It's nice. It's very refreshing that he has his plan. And so we'll see. Like I said, I'm not an economist, so we'll see how that all plays out. We'll see how it's passed. We'll see the arguments that is levied. Because look, conservatives aren't evil. They have good points about the budget and what we can afford, what we can't afford. So we'll see. What else?
We'll see.
Yeah. So we might as well end it here. We have 3 minutes left. And so I want to hit my man, Andrew Cuomo. Right? Andrew Cuomo. He recently, he does little press conferences open in Albany. And he said that we have to get the economy in New York started again. We can't afford to wait until the vaccine has been widely distributed. We won't have an economy to go back to. That is almost a word for word of what he said. Who does he sound like, Shannon?
What'd you say?
Who does he sound like when he says that? Where do we hear that almost exact phrasing from?
Trump?
Yes, right up from Trump. And he was attacked for being a psychopath who doesn't care about people's health. He cares about the economy and stocks over people. And lo and behold, now that Cuomo state's drying up with the money, he's sounding like Trump. And I've been saying for a while now that a lot of the stuff that Trump was saying regarding the coronavirus, whether you wanted to hear it or not, was a hard reality because, like I said, we don't have the money to just sit and chill and wait, and wait this thing out. We didn't plan that way. We didn't have the funds to do those things. And neither did Congress take any paths to going, creating that reality. It's not like we heard a bunch of conversation about, oh, you know what? Let's cut the defense budget by $100 billion and let's cut this, and let's redistribute the money. I didn't hear none of that talk. So it was always unrealistic that we were going to be able to just chill until we all got vaccinated and it was safe to come back outside. We were always going to have to start the economy while the virus was still running rampant through communities. He finally said it because politically it was convenient for him to say it. And so it was useful as a tool to paint Trump as a psychopath, even though Cuomo knew deep down what Trump was saying was right. And I'm only bringing this up to further my point where I tell you guys all the time that these politicians don't really care about you. They think about politics over people. They have, plans and motivations for everything that they do. I'm not even saying necessarily that is a good or bad thing, but I do think it's worth pointing out that is the reality. And so when you are listening to them, when you're judging what they're saying, you have to look at the big picture, and you have to remember that they are playing a political game. And just don't fall in love with these people.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the problem with politics. Just remember, most of these people, most of them are successful sociopaths. That's the best way to look at them. And trust me, you won't get heartbroken never again. So, you have anything to say about that, Shannon?
No, because you're right. I agree with you on that.
That's on an hour.
I feel like this is the most that we have agreed with each other ever. So
I mean, yeah, because the world's in shambles.
Yeah, it is. It is.
We're in shambles. When the world is in shambles, you kind of agree. Because it's like we have to do some basic stuff.
The world is in shambles. It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Have you heard about my idea to take over the Republican Party?
No. No.
I'm gonna do it. I've been talking to some people about some ideas, and I think the party is in shambles right now. It's weak, it's broken, it's confused. Mm-hmm. It has an identity crisis. The stars don't align like this often. The stars are aligned for a takeover. So
okay,
Jabai's going to take over it. You'll be hearing from me soon in the future.
I'm looking forward to seeing what you do with that, Jabaya. Thank you.
Teddy, we're gonna go back to being the Teddy Roosevelt Republicans.
Okay.
So I'd like to thank you all for listening to another episode of the Black Column Podcast. I feel like we're doing better with the news.
Yeah, we are.
Right?
We are. Yeah. Well, that's because there's a lot. That's because there's a lot going on.
Yeah, that's true too. But I feel like it's gonna be that way for the future. And by the way, I do look forward to now that Trump is out of office and things get back to normal for most people, us actually diving deep into these bills and stuff and telling the people about aspects of the bill that doesn't make it to the mainstream media.
Yep.
That's what I'm really excited for, that type of work. But until then, I want to thank you guys once again. We will see you guys next week. Stay safe. Avoid that new COVID strain. All right?
Yep.
We'll see you guys next time. Deuces.
Bye, guys.